guys, it's your girl Shonyx and welcome to The Kid at the Back. You guys have been asking me to play this and I'm finally getting around to it, but this is basically a yandere game about a guy who sits at the back of the class and there's two love interests that we gotta choose between and we gotta figure out who is this kid at the back. Warning, this is a mature game with mature themes, so this is for my mature audience. Don't go looking for this game if you ain't of age. But without further ado, let's get right into it. It was many and many a year ago, in a kingdom by the sea, that a maiden there lived whom you may know by the name of Annabelle Lee. Okay, I wasn't expecting that intro. And class dismissed. By our next meeting, I need a full report on everyone's poem that they have chosen. I will not accept one paragraph. I need 2 whole pages filled with words. Everyone got that? That's a long poem. The classroom broke into a series of "Yes, Professor," while some spared no time in packing their things, eager to be dismissed and disregarding the teacher altogether. Your literature teacher packs up her own things and exits the classroom. The moment your literature teacher left, the classroom broke into small groups as each student gathered up to meet with their respective cliques. Some engaged in conversation while some spared no time in exiting the classroom. A yawn escaped your lips. You turn your head and observe the clouds outside. The clouds are shaded in dark gray. The sky's once blue color is now turning the same lighter shade of gray. The looming threat of rain made you click your tongue in irritation. Just my luck. I hadn't bothered to bring an umbrella too. Standing up from your seat, you were about to grab your bag when you felt a tap on your shoulder. Oh, okay. Turning around, you came face to face with cobalt blue eyes. Her blonde hair shaped like twirls with its ends dyed in blue and pink, complementing her entire ensemble, even if it's just a white button-up that clearly looks too small for her. Wait! Hey! Hot pink jacket tied around her waist and the school's black skirt. Her hand, which you assumed was the one that tapped your shoulder, hung up in the air. She seemed unsure whether to continue or not, judging from the way her eyebrows furrowed downward while biting her glossed lower lip. She turned slightly, her head not fixed on you, but rather on whoever is behind her. You hear her whisper something under her breath before eventually composing herself and turning her focus solely on you now. Hey, you're going to lunch with us, right? I mean, you should. I don't usually see you in the cafeteria often, so you must not be eating properly. Oh? How can you keep up with the classes looking like that? Excuse me? What do you mean looking like what? You took a step back, clenching the strap of your bag as you glare at the blonde woman before you. Who was this woman? Who does she think she is? What kind of invite is that? Judging from the woman's expression, she finally came to realize the words that came out of her mouth. Brittany! A familiar voice interrupted the two of you. You turned your head to see where the voice was, and there stood none other than your old friend. Oh, okay. That's really insensitive of you. Imagine if someone else told you about how you look. His familiar orbs are of azure blue, nearly replicating lapis lazuli's, and his chocolate brown hair tied loosely in a low braid. Hey! Sun-kissed skin enhanced his handsome features, adorned with a black long-sleeved button-up and an indigo vest to add to his clean look. He does look sharp. He is known as Jericho Ichabod. Jericho Ichabod, that's an interesting name. Crowe, for short. Crowe? That's a random nickname, but okay. The class representative and a very close friend of yours. Well, the only close friend you have, dang. Crowe made his way to your side. With a hand on his hip, he reprimands the blonde-haired woman next to you, and the said woman just shrugged her shoulders. You placed a hand over your beating heart. The close proximity between you two caused a blush to appear on your cheeks. Oh, we got a crush on him. No matter how many times you get close to him or him getting near you, you'll never get used to it. Y'all been friends for years and you're feeling this way? His whole aura just gives a warm feeling in you, the butterflies in your stomach thrashing and raging, begging to be released. Yeah, you may have a bit of a crush on him. Just a bit. The woman named Brittany just rolled her eyes, seemingly used to Crowe's reprimands. Well, you're the one who insisted on me initiating talking. You could have done it more nicely, you know, like a simple invite alone. Yeah, she really could have. Crowe gives you a small smile while handing out something to you. You look down to see it. It was your ID. You dropped this, by the way. Your name is, okay, I gotta come up with a name. All right, we're just gonna go with Sean. Last name, Nyx. The ID shows my name, Sean Nyx, along with my pronouns, she, her. You stare at your own ID picture and see yourself more feminine. Yeah. Yes. Your fingers briefly brushed against his. You bit your lip, then muttered a small thank you before pocketing your school ID. Crowe gives you a closed-eyed smile, returning with his own thank you, then turns his attention back towards Brittany. Following up behind Brittany are 3 more people. Dang, there's a lot of people here. The tallest of the 3 is a sporty-looking man, clad in a green and yellow jersey with the number 10 settled in front. Oh, hey! His eyes are a bright green, the color that kind of reminds you of green apples. His skin a beautiful brown that nearly matches his curly hair, while a stubble is nestled on his chin, indicating his maturity. The second tallest is a man in a purple hoodie. His eyes are sharp and slanted with long lashes adorned with teal-colored orbs underneath. Why he look a little bit like Jinshi in Apothecary Diaries. Just a little bit. His hair straight and styled into a hime cut, save for the short strand tied with a red ribbon and a low ponytail bound with the same shade of red behind him. He looks uninterested with what is going around at the very moment. And last but not the least is the shortest of the 3, maybe within the group as well. Her skin pale, her face dotted with few freckles then and there, as rectangular shaped frames shield away orange orbs. Orange eyes? Maybe, I guess that would be like amber eyes or something, but yeah, orange is crazy. Her hair is short and loose like waves. She wears a black button-up under an orange vest and a black skirt matching Brittany's. Dang, Britt, you sure are bad at socializing. Hey, Gio, seems like you have competition. The tall jock, clad in a yellow and green sports jersey, lets out a loud laugh, causing some students to turn and look at him. Brittany's face grew red from embarrassment. Gritting her teeth, she crossed her arms while tapping her foot on the ground. This only made the jock laugh even harder. Shut the F up, Daryl. You're causing a scene. Also, if you were me, you would have done just as badly. That is in fact not true. I'm a lovable guy. Oh yeah? As the 2 argue, you turn your head towards the other tall male in a hoodie. Sensing your gaze, he looks down at you, his hand still in his hoodie's pocket. Nice talk. Cool. A sudden chill went down your spine. You quickly averted your gaze away from the imposing male and landing on the meek girl in orange right beside Brittany. She hasn't spoken since she arrived with the 2 males, but judging from how attached she is to Brittany, you're guessing she's closer with her than the rest of the group. She kind of reminds you of yourself when you were still new to the school with no one to talk to. Not until Crowe befriended you, of course. Were you as clingy to Crowe back then as she is with Brittany now? Sheesh. Sorry, they're kind of a rowdy bunch, huh? I hope you're not too overwhelmed. They sure are something. Look, Sean, you're still free not to join us for lunch if you're uncomfortable. Meeting new people is overwhelming. I just want to let you know that I respect your feelings and that you matter, Sean. Oh, okay. Thanks, Crowe. Thank you. Crowe reassures you with a worried smile on his lips. You turn back to the group, the tall jock named Daryl now bothering Gio with an arm around his shoulder. The visible irritation on Gio's face did nothing to sway Daryl's happy-go-lucky personality. Brittany leans on one of the desks with her arms crossed, striking a conversation with the bespectacled girl next to her. What's her name? I didn't seem to catch it last time. Crowe glanced at where you were pointing at. Ah, Jessie. You can call her Jess for short. She's best friends with Brittany. She kind of reminds me of you back when we first met. Basically, I clocked that already. All shy and quiet. Only that you're cuter. Oh, that's some riz right there, okay. Crowe pinches your cheek playfully and you groan, but your mock annoyance is betrayed by the small smile that formed on your lips, okay? How time flies, huh? That's right, you got yourself acquainted with Crowe in your sophomore year. Before you left for the city, your father emphasized the importance of having companions in established friendships, most especially in this college. Olympias University, the largest university in Titan City. It is known for having the best facilities and the best education, where you're guaranteed to rise from the bottom to the top. Well, that's what the advertisement tells you. You tried getting to know people during your first year, but to no avail. No matter how much you try to make friends, you just couldn't seem to bring yourself to talk to anyone. And to your dismay, no one seems to bother to even befriend you. Ooh. Sure, you would talk with a few classmates for projects, but nothing goes beyond that. As if they're scared of you, or more like disgusted. You can never tell. The looks you've received have all been mixed signals, some bad and some out of pity. That is until Crowe came into the picture. Among everyone, Crowe was the sole person who approached you with the intention of friendship. You were wary of him at first. Why would someone want to befriend you out of nowhere? Your past experiences caused you suspicion. You've had a history with people who tried to earn your good graces because you were somehow beneficial to them. How? What position am I in life why people thought I was beneficial to them? I have to have some kind of connections or something. You thought Crowe would be the same case, so you ignored him. But then he kept following you, trying to strike a conversation with you every now and then. You tried to dismiss him, ignoring his presence as usual, but Crowe was determined to break down your walls and kept insisting on tagging along until it annoyed you once. Just once. That is, until it happened on the last day of your first semester in your sophomore year. You fell victim to one of the school's biggest hidden flaws, what? If Crowe wasn't there to stop them, you could not imagine what might have happened to you. What's the school's biggest flaw? Thank goodness you're unharmed. Oh, he looks different. You're concerned about me? How about you? You're the one who's hurt. Thinking back, you thought he was crazy and stupid. Taking blow after blow until the perpetrators got bored and left the both of you. Why do I feel like it has to do with bullies or something? Well, that's the whole point, right? As long as you're not hurt, this is nothing. You're crazy, you know that? And he just laughs it off, wincing due to the bruises on his face. I never got your name, crazy person. It's Jericho. Jericho Ichabod. But just call me Crowe. Nice to meet you, Crowe. I'm Sean. You brought him to the clinic that day and became inseparable ever since. Right after that incident, Crowe promised to never get in fights again and continues to keep his word on it. You really owe it to him. You look back up at Crowe. He tilts his head. Something on your mind, Sean? Nothing. Just, happy that you're my friend. Oh. He looked at you with raised eyebrows, probably surprised at how random your thoughts seem. I was thrown off by how he started blinking and smiling. I was like, oh. He didn't say anything as he let your words sink in, and his usual gentle smile appeared on his face. Crowe inched closer to you, indicating that he feels the same way. Brittany must have taken notice of the amount of time wasted in talking and arguing as she turns to you one last time. We've talked a little bit too much. We'll end up not getting any seats if we keep this up. So, are you coming with us or not? Caught up in your little daydream about the past, Brittany finally spoke up, catching your attention. You looked back at Crowe, recalling his words. Don't force yourself to join if you're still uncomfortable. You then decide to... Why would I not go with them? Yeah, I feel like I should just go with them. Why not? Brittany hummed a sound of content before turning her heel and heading towards the classroom's exit, her 3 other friends following behind her. Crowe looks back at you by the door, waiting for you. Catching up, you raise your head to meet his azure orbs once more. Your heartbeat quickens within your ribcage in response. You two stop oogling at each other and hurry up! Brittany's exclamation made the both of you jump. Okay, clearly this is mutual. You merely looked down, using your hair as a curtain to hide your reddened face. Crowe just rubbed the back of his neck. You two eventually followed behind Brittany and the rest of the group towards the cafeteria. The cafeteria is loud and crowded. Tables are filled with students while the rest are lined up by the counter grabbing their lunches. A groan escaped Brittany's lips as she looked around for any sign of a vacant table you could all share. What a freaking great time to not bring lunch, huh? Next time, I'm preparing my lunch the night before.
I wonder why it's so crowded today. New lunch menu, perhaps?
It seems like it. We'll be left with nothing else if we keep standing around here and loitering. Hey, Gio, Daryl. Oh yeah, what is it, your royal majesty? Daryl cooed with a teasing tone. Brittany rolled her eyes at his silly gesture. Could you two look for a vacant spot while the rest of us line up? Saves us time that way. Yeah, sure, Britt. Let's go, Gio. Wrapping an arm around Gio's shoulder, while ignoring his obvious irritation from the said male, the two walked away in hopes of looking for an unoccupied table. Brittany then turns to you. Oh, right, Sean. I'm not sure if you packed anything like those two did, but if you want to line up with us or go help them find a table, make a choice. You decided that you... Oh, do I have my own lunch or do I buy my lunch? Oh, shoot. There's literally a weighing thing that says how much you favor Crowe and how much you favor the kid at the back. Oh. Okay, I'm going to say I have my own lunch. Oh, that's good. Well, you go join those two goons and wait for us, all right? Brittany gives you a nod and waves you off. Turning on her heel, she quickly makes her way to the line with Jess following behind her. You want me to get you anything, Sean? No, it's fine. You won't get anything for yourself if you keep idling by. Crowe's shoulders shook at your statement, letting out a soft and hearty chuckle as a smile made its way on his handsome features. He turns around, giving you a wave, then follows behind the two girls, hoping to make it to the line with them. As for you, you made your way to where Gio and Daryl were. It seems that they have managed to find a vacant spot as you saw them currently seated on a round table, merely cleaning up after the group of students who previously occupied the space. Once seated, the two boys took out what seemed to be their individual packed lunches. Before Gio is a very intricate bento box. The contents inside looks as expensive looking as its container, whereas Daryl only has 3 sandwiches he took out from his paper bag. Your food always looks so good, Gio. I bet they taste just as good too. Mind if I take one? No. Oh. Gio said with a flat tone, slapping the jock's hand away from his bento box. Daryl pouted, rubbing his hand before returning to his own sandwich. As he sat down across the two boys, Gio kept his eyes on you for quite a while, his gaze unwavering as he chewed on his lunch. Hey? What's up with this guy sizing you up? You and Gio stared at each other for a good and uncomfortable minute. Is Gio actually a guy? I'm just wondering. Because Gio has kind of like some feminine features. Is Gio actually a guy? Or like, is my character mistaking Gio as a guy? I'm just wondering. I don't know. It could be a guy. I'm just wondering. Just as you were about to open your mouth to ask what this guy's deal is, Daryl's eyes went wide as he finally took notice of your presence in the table. Oh, right. Sean, correct? What did you bring for lunch? I mean, if you don't mind sharing, that is. Sharing what food I have or sharing the food itself? Why not both? As long as you're willing to share. Unlike this guy over here. Okay, so it is a guy. Okay. Gio only rolled his eyes when the jock nudged his shoulder. Don't bother with Daryl. He'll take your food even if you don't give him any. Hey now, I'm not that cruel. Say that to Brittany's lunch that you took yesterday. Jess was kind enough to give her lunch to compensate. I was hungry. Not my fault my coach had to make me do 3 laps around the field. While the two bicker on like children, you let out a small chuckle, eating the sandwich you took out from your own container. Maybe these guys aren't so bad as you thought they might be. Then, at the corner of your eye, you notice Brittany's familiar wavy blonde hair making her way to your table. In tow was none other than Jess and Crowe, each with their own trays of food. Move your butt aside, Daryl. I'm sitting here. A loud gasp escaped Brittany's lips, her mouth opened in shock. The food on her tray is now splattered across her white uniform.
Brittany?
Oh, bully. Oops, sorry about that. Should have watched where you were going. Oh, wait, that's a girl. I was definitely talking like a dude. Multiple footsteps came near. A trio of girls shows themselves before you. The tallest of the bunch, the red-haired one, placed a hand over where her heart is and let out a mocking gasp at the mess. Oh, boy. Brittany's eyes met with the red-haired bully. Judging from the way Brittany's face twisted with rage, they seem to know each other. Oh.
Britt, are you alright? You should get yourself cleaned.
You freaking... This is my only clean uniform. How freaking dare you? Oh, look at Miss Claire all flared up. Careful there, sweetie. You'll get wrinkles. It's not like you're not ugly already. The mean girl coos at Brittany. Her two friends behind her laughs along with her antiques. You got a bad feeling about this. The entire cafeteria breaks into a few murmurs and whispers, their attention now fixated on the group of girls. Some stopped eating while some took out their phones, ready to film whatever happens next. Crowe tried to come in between them to stop the fight, but he wasn't fast enough. Splat! Next thing we know, another loud gasp was heard. Oh. Y'all, this is college. We're in college. Why y'all doing this? Come on now. Let's be mature people here. A wide smile etched itself on Brittany's face. The mean girl's white uniform now smeared with varieties of wet sauces and oils, matching Brittany's own dirty uniform. Jess's face filled with shock. The food from her tray is now gone. Oh, Brittany used Jess's food. Dang. Take that, trash stain. You freaking food fight. Bro, they're in college. Why are y'all doing this? The moment Daryl howled those words, the cafeteria went into a hectic frenzy. And also, everybody didn't need to start fighting. It could have just been between those two. Daryl, what are you doing? Food and drinks started flying across the area as each student started tossing whatever they get their hands on. Okay, now I'm wishing we went to the library. Are those trays? Sean, everyone stop this madness at once. A sudden wave of pain made its way to your head, and the last thing you saw was Crowe calling out your name before passing out. Bruh, what the freak just happened? Ugh, where am I? Oh, you're awake, thank goodness. What, Crowe? What just happened? You tried to sit up, but a sudden shot of pain went through your head, stopped you. You reached out to touch where the ache was coming from, but Crowe stopped you by holding onto your wrist. Oh, careful now. The nurse already bandaged your head. Don't push yourself. Crowe gently pushed you back down on the medical bed. He takes a lone stool and takes a seat right next to you. What happened? Well, after Daryl started that mess of a food fight, the principal was called in to stop it. Daryl got lucky enough to escape when he did. Gio was nowhere to be seen. As for Brittany, what about her? Well, Jess helped her out to grab a new uniform from the principal's office. Then why does my head hurt so much? Somebody somehow threw a tray and you were unfortunate enough to get hit by it. Thankfully, I got you out of there before things got real ugly. Well, thanks, Crowe. I owe you one. I'm always there for you, Sean. Never forget that. Anyway, it's around 1:45 in the afternoon right now. I should probably head to my next class. You should stay here until the nurse gets back. You'll be alright alone here, right? You wanted to say no, but stopped yourself before you could. Yeah, you can go ahead. You sure? Yes, I'll be fine, Crowe. You've done enough for me today. You gave him a small smile, but he did not return it. Crowe squeezes your hand, quite hesitant to let you go. Eventually, he loosened his grip. He stands up from his chair and walks towards the exit. But before you could leave, he turned around and gave you one last smile, eventually closing the door and going out of the infirmary. You groaned and laid back down on the bed, feeling the bandage on your head. At least the pain is slowly dying a bit. Hope it didn't leave a mark on my head. You're guessing you came face to face with the edges of one of the metallic trays. Sheesh. Since when did trays hurt that much? Well, if it's being launched across the room, of course it's gonna hurt. Then again, there were athletes in the area, Daryl being one of them. Just then you heard the door opening, the nurse's voice echoing through the room as the click of her heels got louder as she drew closer. Huh? Oh. Hey! Hello! Hello there! The school nurse entered, and following her was a tall student dressed in black. He seemed to be holding onto his left hand. Oh, I didn't even notice the blood. He seemed to be holding onto his left hand. You could still see the red streak of blood overflowing. That looks bad. He sure had it worse than me. I wonder what happened. You should be thankful you didn't cut a vein. How were they able to get past that pocket knife in the first place? The nurse sighed, and it seems like she got her hands full with another student. The latter, however, didn't say anything, as he let out a small hiss when the nurse dabbed some disinfectant on his wound. You sat up slowly, careful to not hit your head on anything else, before stealing a glance at the student and the nurse. Your eyes meet with reddish-orange ones. Your heart raced as you feel your heartbeat quicken. What an unusual color. Why are his unusual, but Jess with the orange eyes is not? They remind me of the setting sun. The nurse finishes up wrapping around his wound, a blotch of red slowly seeping out and staining the once white bandage. However, his gaze is still fixated on you. The nurse follows his line of sight and finally takes notice of your conscious figure. Ah, you're finally awake, Miss Nix. She approached you with a bottle of painkillers she took from one of the transparent cabinets on the walls before handing a pill to you. How are you feeling, dear? Does your head still hurt? It's slowly dissipating, ma'am. Thank you. She hands you the pill and you take it down your throat. You're free to stay here for a while longer, Miss Nix, but you need to return to your class as soon as you're feeling better. I just got hit with the tray in the freaking forehead. Why do I need to go back to class? You gave the nurse a nod. She, in return, hums in approval before going back to the taller male in black. As for you, Mr. Brugmansia, if ever your bandage gets dirty throughout the day, don't hesitate to come back here and I'll reapply it with a new roll. The taller male hummed. He turned on his heel and made his way towards the exit door before pausing. I'll return to my class now. Thanks for patching me up, nurse. The tall student gives you one last look with his fiery red eyes before making his exit with a click of the door. The nurse lets out a sigh, rubbing her temples, feeling a headache surfacing. I swear, that child comes here every other day. Him? Oh, you're not classmates with Mr. Brugmansia? Odd, I thought he might know you from the way he was looking at you. No, I haven't seen him around. More like you never bothered to look at who is around you since no one would even bother to spare a glance at you. Well, either way, don't get into trouble like him, alright? That raises a question in your head. Just how bad were the guy's injuries that he comes to the nurse's office almost every other day? Yeah, that is actually crazy. Kind of explains why she's sighing hard ever since she brought the tall male into her office. With an injury as bad as a near stab wound on the palm, you could only take a wild guess. Okay, if it's that bad, you should go to the hospital. And as much as you are curious about what transpired, you're nearly late for your next class. Eyeing the clock on top of the doorframe, you got out of the medical bed. You thanked the nurse and made your way out of her office. Barely making it to your next class, you slid the classroom door open, earning you a few looks from the students inside the room. Turning to the podium, you exhaled a breath you didn't realize you were holding when you realized that your teacher was still absent. Fixing your composure, you scanned the room. A few easels and shelves filled with brushes and bottles, stained with acrylic paint, guarantee that you made it to the right class. Ooh, art class. You make your way to your seat. Once settled down, you groaned, placing your elbows on the desk and resting your chin on top of your hands, waiting patiently for your professor's arrival. Though you couldn't help but notice the feeling of someone staring at you, you shook it off, thinking it must have been the lack of sleep. You look out the window. Or maybe it's the cold weather. Hearing the classroom door open, your art professor makes his way inside, his large round belly standing out, round spectacles sitting on top of his nose, and a stereotypical brown beret on his head. Hey, he's playing the part. He greets the class before starting his lecture. Art exhibit project featuring various eras of art as part of our thesis. This time we're tasked with expressionism. Remember, this is all part of your paper, and not to mention making a name for yourself, of course. Ho ho ho. More like taking the credit of a student's work and using it to advertise your trashy school. You scoffed at the thought. Hope you all got a partner already by this time. For this term, I am tasking you all to create 3 works based on the exhibit's theme. This is where you want to throw your desk out the window. How could you forget? You weren't present during the previous meeting and you absolutely knew no one in this specific class. Why were you taking art again? Oh, right. Your father was an artist as he was a farmer. It was all for him, and maybe you can make a name for yourself with your works as if your life as a gardener wouldn't turn out the way it should. All part of plan B, and if that fails, I've got plan C and D. I have yet to make up the rest. Or I guess I'll die. Wow, that's dark. You shake away your silly thoughts. The problem is now at hand. You do not have a partner to work with. Now I want all of you to go to your chosen partner for this project, so I can start explaining your task. Ho ho. Eventually, you were forced out of your seat since your seatmate's partner will be occupying it for the class. You curse at yourself. You could only hope you're not the only student who didn't get their own partner for this class. But upon looking around, it seems like everyone is calm and collected. Were you the only one panicking here? Unlike the rest of the class scurrying around to meet their partner, you were the only fool who was standing still. Note on the only one standing, because from the corner of the classroom, there's a single student not bothering to stand up from their seat. Their seatmate had left to pair with someone else, leaving a vacant spot. It's the guy from the clinic. I never knew he's in the same class as me. Is he not going to bother with his partner? Unless... hey there! He looks up from his desk and looks at your approaching form before you eventually are standing next to him. It's you. Seems like you're a bit lost there. Do you have a partner? No. Okay. Well, just your luck then. Me neither. So, you want to be partners? Sure, why not? You took the vacant seat right beside him, his book now tucked away, and on his desk is now a pen and a piece of paper, seemingly ready to take notes. Hey, I never got to know your name. It's not quite important. What? Why would you not just say your name? Why you gotta be weird? Well, I should at least know what to call you instead of Green Streak Guy. He raised a brow at your silly nickname you gave him before slightly shaking his head. Sullivan Brugmonster. But just call me Sol. Sol. Sol means sun or brightness, right? That's sure, let's say that. Sol nods, rubbing the back of his head. You could say that. My mother gave me that name. It's a lovely, lovely name. I don't think he likes his name. Thanks. Well, I'm Sean. Nice to finally know your name, Sol. Sol nods with a smile forming on his lips, then returning his attention back to the professor. Okay, I didn't know he could smile. I thought maybe he was the type where he's like, he doesn't smile, but he did. 3 artworks to showcase. Note it has to come from some sort of expressionism. Mediums will be strictly traditional. Your professor then proceeds to give other pointers for your project before leaving you and the rest of the class for the day. Everyone in the classroom proceeds to talk with their partners, already brainstorming ideas on what they're going to showcase and hopefully could get a high grade. You turn to Sol as he took out his own charcoal pencil and his sketch pad for the class. You got any plans for our first display, Sol? Expressionism is about conveying one's feelings, right? The easiest for now is a portrait. Let's use your face as an example. My face? He lets out a low chuckle. There, you're making a cute expression right now. That can be considered as expressionism. Oh, I'm making a cute expression? Oh, okay, wait, hold on. Huh? Oh, but I have this bandage on my face. Wouldn't that hinder the process? You recall the events that happened back in the cafeteria. I can simply ignore it. Or make something better out of it. Trust the process. He seems like he already has an idea on what to do. And judging from the half-filled sketchbook of his, he's quite familiar with the concept of art. Me, however, why would I not be good at art? I'm taking this art class. And literally, I'm taking this art class for my dad's sake, right? Right? So why would I not be good at art? Why would I take this art class and not be good at art? I'm gonna be good at art. I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm gonna be good at art. Oh, then surprise me. He doesn't even look like he believes me. Look at him raising his eyebrow. He doesn't believe me. Sorry, I can't draw you back because of this dang injury. No, don't worry about it. You're excused and I don't want you to stress your hand over this. You took out your sketch pad and your pencil and worked with this portrait with determination, his eyes never leaving your face. You would often look up to see his features, taking note of every curve. A blush occasionally invades his cheeks as he tries his best not to look away while you work. While you were sketching up, you can't help but avert your eyes on his bandaged hand from time to time. Seems you're quite curious to know what happened to this, huh? And you weren't slick with it either. You froze when he caught you red-handed, just like the red seeping out of his hand. Ha, I get it. Red-handed. Let me stop. You stop drawing. Sorry, that was rude of me. It's fine. This is just the usual for me. I've gotten worse injuries than this. You raised a brow at that. This is not the worst. If you don't mind me asking, what happened? He paused and averted his eyes, but opened up to speak. Nothing much. Was minding my own business. Got assaulted. Had to defend myself. He talked as if it's another normal Monday for him. Your eyes furrowed. He noticed and just chuckled. No need to worry about me. All that matters is that I'm still here. You didn't say anything, however, continuing on with the drawing, your movement slow and now refusing to look at his injured hand. This school is way more effed up than I thought it would be. The sound of the school bell rang across the classroom and through the hallway. You quickly made a few more lines on your portrait before giving up. You closed your pad and proceeded to shove it inside your backpack, earning you a confused look on your partner's face. Not even gonna show me what you made? It's not done yet. That never bothered me. Can I see it? Wait! How about a small deal? I'll show it to you once I'm done with the portrait and you still need to draw me once your injury gets better. Sounds like a plan? You say it with a wide grin on your face, trying your best to convince the male. He stares at your face for a short moment before eventually leaning back on his chair, arms crossed, and nods along with your deal. Packing your things, you and Sol continue out to the hallway. Do you have a phone? We could exchange numbers and update each other so we can do the next 2 more tasks. Sol then takes out his phone and asks for your number. You recite it out as he inputted it on his phone. Let me try to send you a message. You nodded and looked at your phone screen and saw a new notification from an unknown number. This must be Sol's. Sup. Cool. You type so differently from how you look. I was definitely thinking, okay, sup? That doesn't seem like his personality, but sure. From the corner of your eye, you see Sol's eyebrow raised at your text. What's that supposed to mean? Nothing. You chuckled and he rolled his eyes. Your stare lingers on Sol's face. A smile is embedded on his handsome features while he looks at the block of text on his phone. He smiles a lot more than what I thought he would. I didn't think he would smile that often. You bite the bottom of your lip as you recall the events that happened today. Mostly meeting new people, first formally meeting Crowe's group, and now meeting Sol. Back then, you struggled to form friends throughout college, that you were convinced that you would be graduating without making a single connection, which would undoubtedly disappoint your father, and you were ready for it. You thought to yourself, these are odd people, eccentrics at most. All misunderstood people, all human, all the same. A sudden wave of determination washed over you. With a hand on your chest, you stare into Sol's orbs, making him tilt his head slightly. What? Why am I being so obvious? Why am I being so obvious? Why am I just saying, Sol, I want to be friends with you? What kind of Tamagotchi confession is this? I can sense that people tend to misunderstand you and your overall personality. Sol is quiet, but his gaze remains on you with a lingering curiosity. But let me be different. I want to know you. I want to understand you, Sol. Wow. All these years, you couldn't make friends, but all of a sudden now you can make friends? If you let me. He blinks once, then twice, then a chuckle. He puts a large hand on top of your head, then ruffles your hair. All right, then. Let's mark today as the start of our wonderful friendship, Sean. You playfully pushed his hand off your head and nudged him on the shoulder. He lets out a small laugh at your poor attempt. As to you too, Sullivan Brugsmains, yeah? I feel like I'm not even saying it right. Just Sol is fine, Sean. Well, I need to get going. See you tomorrow? Huh? Oh, of course. See you tomorrow, Sean. Giving Sol a wave of goodbye, you make your way towards the school's exit. What? My darling. My sweet darling, Sean. See you later, pumpkin. Well, okay, he definitely been watching us for a while. He's definitely been watching us for a while. Excuse me? Bro was acting like he did not know our name. As you walked through the hallway, your eyes caught on something on the nearby bulletin board. A poster was plastered on a large board. The Hallows Ball. Come enjoy the festive spirit of Hallows Eve. A Halloween party, huh? Seems promising. A sudden small vibration came from your pocket. Curious, you took out your phone, expecting another message from Sol. It was from Crowe. Your heart leaped from your chest, recalling the events that happened earlier this afternoon. Can you meet me after class? I'll be at the front gate. Oh, why? You didn't send a reply? Turning off your phone, you quickly made haste to the exit. You approached the school's gate, keeping an eye out for your friend. Sure enough, there stood Crowe in all his glory, postured straight with his arms held behind his back, his bag neatly placed on the floor, and his foot tapping on the concrete floor nervously. What? Why is he nervous? You yourself were growing nervous with each step you took as you drew closer and closer to him. When you reached his side and made your presence known with a small greeting, you noticed the way Crowe's eyebrows raised in mild surprise, as if not expecting you to actually show up before him. Well, you didn't text him back, so maybe that's why. He cleared his throat before composing himself properly, his body now facing in your direction. You wanted to see me? Yes. Lifting his bag from the floor, he slings a strap over his shoulder and offers his hand for you to take. I'd like to take you somewhere. It's a bit near the park. I'll lead if you let me. Huh? Okay, I feel like if I take his arm, that's more. Actually, I don't know. Both of them are pretty intimate. I'll take his hand. You took his hand. In return, Crowe wraps his fingers around yours. Oh, okay, Crowe. His nervous smile melts into a genuine and happier one before he leads the both of you away from the school's gate into the streets. By the time you and Crowe made it to the park, it was already sundown and stars slowly started painting the sky. Is this the place you were trying to lead me to, Crowe? Not quite yet. Come here. What? You follow him through a thicket of thick bushes, surprised to see stony stairs. This ain't, I don't know. What is going on here? Though a bit run down, it still seems sturdy to step foot on. Looking up, you see it leads somewhere above. You and Crowe make your way up the stony stairs, some red and orange leaves coloring the steps as you and him avoid a few puddles from the rain this morning. We're here. Come. It's a sight to behold. Wow. Okay, Crowe. Wait a minute, Crowe. Taking one last step, you see Crowe admiring whatever was beyond him, his smile bright as his eyes twinkle like the stars above. Your eyes went wide in awe upon seeing the scenery before you, replicating the one Crowe has on his face. Not once did you take into consideration the idea of sightseeing within the city. Everything felt unfamiliar, intimidating even. You couldn't blame yourself for feeling so distressed about the idea of traveling, especially since you had no one else within the city to guide you. But gazing at the sea of lights that stretched out before you made you realize that you've been missing out much on what the city has to offer. Looking farther ahead, you take notice of a tall tower decorated with bright neon pink lights. A little bit to the right is a movie theater next to a mall. The rows of other buildings with multicolored lights seemed endless. The more you scan the area, the more you see unfamiliar places that you didn't know existed. Your moment of silence while admiring the city view is interrupted by the sound of rustling grass. You turn around, finding the source of the sound. Crowe has made himself comfortable, lying on the ground under an old tree. You see his backpack leaning on his trunk. You turn your back from the city and walk to where Crowe lay, deciding to keep him company. His gaze on the starry sky shifts to you as you sit down beside him, and a hopeful smile grows on his face. Oh, okay, wait, he got this all planned out. Judging from your face all lighting up, you like this place, huh? Care to join me? Accepting his invitation, you give Crowe a slight nod that brought joy to his eyes. You stretch a bit and lay on your back right next to him, your fingers barely touching. You and Crowe look at the night sky. You observe how the stars twinkle as if the rain from this morning never happened. How did you manage to find this place? You tilt your head to look at him, and he gives you a closed-eyed chuckle before his twinkling gaze meets yours. I take it that you've never heard of Lily's myth, have you, Sean? Lily's myth? Why do I feel like this is some lover's myth? Crowe points up at the old tree that stood above you, then returns his gaze to the stars. They say that this tree that the humans came in contact with was blessed by the gods that guard this land. This very same tree here used to bear multiple fruits. They say that they never rot and are free for anyone to take. Or so what the popular interpretation says anyways. There are other versions of the myth? Crowe shrugs his shoulders. Moving his gaze from the sky back to the tree, he stares at it, as if trying to decipher something just by the mere look at it. There are other versions, yes. Some say the fruits are actually poisonous. Others say it's only meant for the gods and no humans must take from it lest they be cursed. That sounds quite gruesome. Why do you even know all this? It's no wonder they would rather use the lighter version of the myth. Crowe lets out a low chuckle at your statement, nodding a bit as if agreeing with you. I guess that might be one of the reasons. Hey, Sean. He pauses before speaking again. You perk an eyebrow at him. Yeah? This seems like a silly question. No, lay it on me. Tell me what it is. Do you believe in gods? This question caught you by surprise. You never thought of Crowe as the religious type, more so be interested in gods. Maybe he's just curious by the idea of them. This may be the best moment to know for sure. What does this have to do with the story? I mean, I'm gonna say I do, but I wonder what this has to do with the story. I do. They are the very beings that blessed our lands and soil. Back in my hometown, we would go to worship in our village's patron goddess's church and pray for a good harvest. What is this? Wait, is this like a fantasy story? Because this is like a little different. This is like a little different than what I was expecting. You recall your visits to the village temple with your father. Being regulars, you visited enough to the point where you became friends with some of those who resided within the church. Every time you dropped by to worship, you and your father would offer your healthiest crops to thank your patron. You haven't gone to church in a while, probably because the city doesn't have a church for your patron deity. Your goddess had more followers near your village, all the way to the south. Crowe gives you a nod of understanding. How about you? Do you believe in gods? You turn to Crowe, repeating the same question he asked you earlier. He scanned your face, your eyes, your nose, then your lips. His lingering gaze made you shrink back. Why are you looking at me so hard? Your heart fluttering slightly. Crowe seems to realize something to himself as he returns his attention to the stars above, sighing. I don't. This surprises you, and Crowe laughs at your visible shock and confusion. I definitely would have expected him to be the type that did. What? You didn't think I'd be a non-believer? If I have to be honest, no. Why so? You kind of dress like a priest. Crowe's azure eyes grew wide as he broke out into one of the loudest laughs you've ever heard from him. He laughed so hard that he had to clench his stomach and wipe at the tear-stained corners of his eyes. Oh, I don't think I'm that funny. You must really like me. 'Cause I don't think I was that funny. He was still chuckling when he unbuttons the first two studs of his black polo, revealing more of his collarbone to you. You quickly avert your eyes, finding the tree's leaves to be very interesting at this moment as you feel a familiar heat rush to your cheeks. How's that? Less formal? For freak's sake, Ichabod. It feels like I'm seeing a Victorian woman's ankles for the first time. Crowe grins at your reaction. It took the both of you a few more seconds of going back and forth with his teasing and you reprimanding him before you finally calmed down. The next few moments were spent with you pointing at the stars and Crowe teaching you the constellations with a gentle whisper-like voice. You both fell silent, basking in the peace of the night. As the silence prolonged, Crowe fell deep in thought. About today, Sean, and about the guys. So we're moving to this conversation next, huh? I've got to be honest, Daryl put me up on this little hangout while I was feeling down on the dumps. So Daryl put you up to this? I think I do have to thank him for forcing me and actually gave me the courage to talk to you after class. I thought we were close friends. We don't talk to each other after class? He lets out a breath he didn't know he was holding, refusing to meet your eyes. I just don't know if I upsetted you by suddenly dragging you into this group. I probably should have told you about them a long time ago, huh? I'm sorry, Sean. You bit your lip. You suspected that you might have upset Crowe by making him think that you didn't like the group's presence at all, and that he's forcing you to bend to his will. One thing to know about Crowe is that he's never the type to demand, to control, or to be a king, to be a tyrant. You didn't do anything wrong, Crowe. In fact, I should be the one to apologize. You speak up without thinking. Crowe turns his head to look at you, his gaze swirling with confusion at your apology. I'm sorry for making you feel bad. I didn't mean to be upset. You swallow a lump in your throat, trying your best to hold the tears that were threatening to spill. I just thought you'd forget about me after, they're amazing people. Brittany's pretty, Daryl's a fun guy, Gio's so cool, and Jess is loyal. They're a great group. And most importantly, you're amazing, Crowe. You're all amazing. But did I say not me? I'm just not sure if I could ever be a part of the group. Girl, it was one day. It was one lunch. It was literally one lunch. Come on now. Stop being insecure. You were always hidden in the shadows, no matter how much you tried to fit in. You were never to be considered. People treated you like someone to toss away, someone to use. You're worth nothing but an extra. Sheesh. That's what she always tells you. Who? You couldn't hold it back anymore. A sob escapes your lips. Oh my goodness, you're sad. Your vision slowly blurring as you feel wet droplets of tears finally sliding down your cheeks from your eyes. For a moment, you saw panic in Crowe's expression, seemingly not expecting you to burst into tears. Hey, Crowe, I didn't expect it either. I didn't expect to burst into tears either. He reaches out to hold your hand. And suddenly, you feel a pair of arms circling around you as he pulls you closer to him, letting you sob on his shoulder. He says nothing while rubbing a hand along your back, allowing you to cry, not caring about his clothes getting wet from your tears. Once you calm down, Crowe rests his hand on your back, not letting you out of his embrace. You're amazing, Sean. I'm sorry, I never get to tell you that no matter how many times I've thought of it. I just couldn't seem to find the words. But you're amazing in your own way, Sean. You may not know it, but you're beautiful, you're funny, you're quite a phenomena. You can feel vibrations coming from his chest with the chuckle he emits. Heck, you're the funniest person I know. All I'm saying, Sean, is that you're amazing. You have no idea how much tears you've shed tonight. Sometimes you think it's silly and childish to cry over what was probably a trivial matter to some, but the urge to sob returned after hearing those words from him. You want me to call you the amazing Spider-Man just to prove that you are amazing? Oh, you're so corny. That made you giggle a bit as you wipe your tear-stained cheeks. With whatever strength you could muster, you slowly pulled away and lifted yourself up. You sit yourself up, hovering over Crowe. Oh. And there you see the very same man that made you cry by literally doing nothing. His braid came loose. You didn't know when, but his hair pulled around his head. Oh shoot! Crowe stares up at you with serene eyes, remaining silent as a gentle smile plastered on his face. There is nothing but the moon illuminating his tender features, yet to your vision he seems to glow. He is absolutely beautiful. Oh, how you wish you could blame everything on him. If you could, you tell him that he's the reason for all the unnecessary feelings swelling in your chest. You tell him exactly how good and bad it all feels, the heartaches and butterflies fluttering about your stomach. You want to blame him, but you can't. I think I'm just gonna hug him because I'm trying to go after Sol. I ain't gonna lie, I'm trying to go after Sol. So I think I'm just gonna hug him. You didn't feel as bad as before, but your vessel is not completely empty yet. Somehow just looking at Crowe, at the comfort he brought you, made you want to bask in it longer until you were sure you had no tears left to shed. Leaning down once more, you bury your face in the crook of his neck, and his arms instinctively wraps around you, his hug warm and soothing as he waits for you to gather your thoughts. Crowe rubs circles on your back, a silent way of telling you that he was there, you were not alone, and that he'd be there whenever you needed him. He didn't say a word, understanding that you need silence more than anything right now. You couldn't thank him enough for always knowing what you needed. You have no idea exactly how long you remained in that embrace while lying down in the grass, but you feel a lot better that you are ready to get back up on your feet. You pull away, meeting Crowe's eyes that seem to ask after your well-being. Fixing his collar, he turns to you. Are you good to go? You could read just that from his gaze. You nod slightly, and it is only then that Crowe completely releases you from his embrace, helping you to sit up before he dusts the grass that stuck to his shirt. He gives you a once-over and gently swats away the leaves on your hair and clothes. You blink at him. He only smiles at you. You get up and Crowe retrieves his bag, almost forgotten by the tree. He looks back at you and takes your hand silently. It was time to go. It was time to leave this magical place. You look at the stars, at how brightly they shone. You gave the sky one last glance before turning away, hand clasped tightly around Crowe's as you let him lead you home. Crowe walks you to your apartment, noting that he kept you out late at night. You bid Crowe goodbye after he safely sees you inside, and he gives you a wave before turning on his heel and making his way down the stairs. You close your apartment door and lean on it, heaving a puff of air. You recall the conversation you had with Crowe while you walked with him on the street leading to your home. I'm gonna give the guys a chance. What guys? Oh, the group? I think I judged them too quickly. So I want to do better. I want to get to know them better. If you trust them, then I trust them too. Crowe's expression was of surprise at your declaration, as your determined face reflected in his orbs. Crowe chuckles at your enthusiasm, giving you a friendly pat on your head. I'm glad you're giving them a chance, Sean. I'm sure they'll feel the same. You engaged in other conversations with Crowe during your walk, the topics not really being of any importance as you have forgotten them by now, save for his gentle voice and the occasional fond glances he stole at you. Time with Crowe seemed to pass by so quickly. You arrived at your apartment complex before you knew it. You make your way to the living room and you throw your school bag to a random corner, immediately plopping down on your sofa as you turn on the small television. Nothing interesting is going on, save for some food commercials and movie trailers. That pizza looks good. Maybe I should order something? How late is it? Is pizza even, are they even open? Reaching to your pockets and taking out your phone, you were about to dial the numbers on the television when a new notification bubble popped on your notification bar. It's from a group chat you've never seen before. Oh, he added us to a group chat. After scrutinizing it, you realize that it was Crowe who added you in. It was a group chat with the rest of his friends. You open it. Okay. Oh, the Hollows Ball. Anyone want to go to this Halloween party this Friday? It's gonna be awesome. Aren't we all a bit too old for costume parties? Is it required? You two are no fun at all. I won't go if it's not a school requirement. Much less a waste of my time. Isn't? No, it isn't, but it'll be a great and fun experience for all of us. I mean, we should loosen up a bit, you know?
I agree with Crowe. Count me in.
Pass. I've got more important things to do than that party. Now, will you excuse me? I'll be doing my leftover task for tonight. How are you even friends with them, Gio? How are you even friends with them? You sound like you don't even like hanging out with them. Gio has gone offline. Sheesh, a stick in the mud as usual. How about you, Sean? Me? You join in, it'll be fun. You were honestly surprised they somehow remembered you. Checking your calendar through your phone, you didn't seem to have any plans in the near future or plans at all. You'd like to just spend your time in your apartment alone. I mean, sure. That's great to hear. Okay. Crowe seems happy about it. You giggled. This also reminds you of something, or rather someone. Opening another chat, you tapped on Sol's newly added contact and sent him a message by sending the image of the same poster Daryl sent. Sol is not gonna go to this Hollows Ball. A Halloween party hosted by the school? Yeah. I'm not quite into parties. Oh. Well, that's all right. Just asking, that's all. Wait. If you're coming, then I'm coming as well. Really? Okay, Sol. Really? Do you plan on dressing up? I don't know. Do you? I mean, it's a costume party, so why not? I'll try to think of something then. Okay. You swear you can feel the smile behind those words. With a quick word of goodbye, you set your phone down when you heard your doorbell? That must be the food delivery. Oh, I didn't even know I ordered the food. Afterwards, you ate your dinner and prepared yourself for bed. You thought about the events that happened today. Meeting the group, meeting Sol, and most especially your little hangout with Crowe. Each and every moment is a special occasion on its own. Letting out a big yawn as you stretched out your body, you turn to your laundry slowly piling up and scratch your head. I'll probably do laundry tomorrow, but for now, you plop yourself on the soft cushions of your bed, getting into a comfortable position and slowly dozing off as you close your eyes, embracing sleep as the night goes. And this maiden, she lived with no other thought than to love and to be loved by me, the one who loves. I was a child, she was a child, in this kingdom by the sea. Okay. Day 2, the kingdom. What is this little poem happening here? What is this little poem happening here? I wonder, is this Sol's poems? Maybe it's Sol's poems. I don't know. The sun setting by the horizon colors the grassy field into a deep golden orange as the wind made some strands of hair brush across your face. Your beloved home, the tall grass, the fresh air, the various farm animals that you and your family raised since you were but a mere child. You can't even imagine what was happening before you right now as a group of people came while they talked with your father. Your only family member left. Whoa, what happened? You see the distress in your father's eyes as he tries his best to negotiate with the people before him. The desperation in his voice, the sweat running down his neck as he moves around his hand, gesturing this and that. But please, just give me more time. I promise I can pay up. This is all we have left. I don't know where else to go if we lose this farmland.
We've given you enough chances already, Mr. Nyx. If you don't pay up your debt, we will take your land.
Oh, so maybe that's why I'm in college. The loud ringing of the school bell rang across the hallway, making you jerk out of your thoughts. Students came out through their classroom doors. You feel someone shaking you awake. You sat up and met face to face with Crowe. Well, good morning, Sleeping Beauty. You let out a yawn. You rubbed your eyes as you looked around. Your fellow classmates are now gone from their seats, as it is now lunchtime. What did I miss? Nothing important, though if you're having doubts, I can lend you my notes afterwards. Thanks, Crowe, you're a lifesaver. Anything for you, Sean? You recalled the little dream you had. You quickly shake it off as you let out a stretch, popping a few joints before you got up and went out of your classroom with Crowe in tow. Crowe in tow. It rhymes. Okay, let me stop. You met up with your group of friends, seeing Daryl with Gio and Crowe waiting by the lockers, Brittany coming along behind them, and Jess. You waved at them. Good noon to you all. They're like I don't know, they all look like fashionistas. Like everybody has their own distinctive style. Regards, Daryl. How was class? Boring and boring. So glad to be out of there. One more useless minor and I'll be out of here. Gio just shrugged, a hand in his hoodie pocket while the other on his phone.
We gotta at least do something in our major today, though, which I'm glad about.
More papers, but it was at least something. Enough about papers, so about the Halloween party. Any ideas for our costume yet? As they talked with each other, at the corner of your eye, you noticed a familiar figure. It was Sol. He came out of a classroom and another person came afterwards behind him, seemingly bored of his mind. Who is that? Who is this person? Okay, call Sol over? See, if I call Sol over, I don't think he's gonna join them. But I also want to talk to Sol. Dang it! I don't know what to do. Let me join him. You turn your head to Crowe in a shy manner, almost hesitant to ask. Crowe, is it okay if I leave? I have somewhere to be at. Is that so? There was a slight disappointment in his voice, but he lets you continue on. Yeah, sorry I couldn't hang out. Nonsense. I'll see you after lunch instead then, Sean. If you're ever interested, of course. Sure thing. You give Crowe one last smile before heading over to where Sol and his companion is. Are we doing this right in front of Crowe? You walk towards the two individuals. They seem to be in deep conversation. However, Sol noticed your presence and stopped talking, his attention now on you. His companion noticed the change in his friend's demeanor and follows his gaze as it lands on you. Okay, I didn't know that Sol had friends. The shorter male greeted you with a smile. Hi there, you're friends with Sunny? 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 Sunny! He pats Sol in the back, causing the taller male to jerk slightly forward. Sol gives him an irritated look, observing the way his face is slowly turning red. You know, cause he's such a sunshine, he's Sunny. You let out a small giggle, shifting your eyes towards Sol as he catches your gaze on his. Upon landing eye contact, Sol quickly averts his gaze away from yours, holding up his hand as he tries his hardest to hide his face away. Like a nickname? Yes, Sunny loves the nickname I gave him, right, Sunny? Sol remains silent, still refusing to meet your gaze. That's adorable. For a moment, the three of you are silent before the shorter male speaks up once more. This is awkward. Maybe I should have stayed with the group. You sure have taste, Sunny. She's very pretty, like you said. Oh, you sound pretty? A blush makes its way to your face. Scratching the back of your head, you bit your bottom lip as you let out a small thank you. Anyway, nice to meet you. My name's Hugo. I'm this big old grumpy's best friend. Sean, a pleasure to meet you too. He extends his hand for you to take in, which you merely accept, shaking it and puts it back on his side, a smile on his face as he did so. Okay, so Sol is not as much of an introvert as I thought. So anyway, what are you up to, Sean? Oh, I just saw you both and wanted to greet you. More importantly, you check Sol's hand, seeing the bandage now gone. You assumed it got better quickly, but you want to make sure. You alright now, Sol? Sol knows exactly what you were talking about before giving you a nod and a small smile. I'm doing better. It might leave a scar, but it's nothing for me to worry about. Huh? What? You got injured? Nothing for you to worry about. Sol quickly dismisses his friend, not wanting him to bombard him with unnecessary questions. Seeing that the taller male refuses to even give him a moment to explain himself, Hugo drops the thought with a shake of his head. Hugo turns his attention back to you. Anyway, we're planning to go to the rooftop today and eat lunch there. The weather's doing better unlike yesterday. You want to tag along with us, Sean? You guys aren't a fan of the cafeteria? Upon mentioning the cafeteria, Sol shivered as Hugo only gave a small chuckle. Sonny isn't a huge fan of the noise there. I heard there was a food fight that happened yesterday. Right? No, not gonna lie, a food fight sounds fun. What are you, high school? At least have fun a little bit, Sonny. Anyway, enough talking. Let's get going, shall we? Sure. Hugo walks to his usual spot and got himself seated on a bench that you somehow never took notice before. Sol follows along, and in his hands is a large wrapped box that caught your interest. I don't think I should sit in between them. Let me sit beside Sol. Yeah, because they're best friends. I'm not gonna come in between them. Yeah, let me sit beside Sol. Sol notices you from the corner of his eye, the edges of his lips moving upward. You pointed to the box nestled in Sol's hands. Is that your lunch, Sol? You can say that. As Sol unwraps the cloth, showing you 3 bento boxes, he takes out the first bento box that was settled on top before giving the second one to Hugo. Hugo happily accepts the box, thanking Sol before taking out his chopsticks. Opening the container, Hugo lets out an awe sound, his eyes sparkling, drool slowly seeping out of the corner of his open mouth. You actually listened, and did you cut those tiny sausages into octopuses? Keep your voice down, it's ringing in my ear. Wait, I need to take a picture of it. Placing the box gently on his lap, Hugo rummages through his pockets before taking out his phone. Opening his phone's camera, he flips it horizontally, then starts clicking away, taking 1 or 2 photos. Hugo lifts the container back into his hands, but not before turning to you and showing you what he keeps gushing about. Oh my. Oh, that's cute! That is adorable. Isn't it adorable, Sean? There you see are various ranges of food with rice shaped to match a moth, seaweed to design the face, along with using a cabbage leaf to form its wings. Aw, Sol is actually kinda wholesome. He's kinda wholesome. Right below the moth are mini sausages shaped like octopus. Wonderfully cut carrots were made to look like stars and squeezed beside stuffed shiitake mushrooms. The egg roll sushi and broccoli with melted cheese as a dip look delicious. Wow. I almost feel too bad to eat it, especially on how cute this little guy is. Hugo points at the silk moth-shaped rice. I don't know what he's saying. Without wasting another second, Hugo starts digging in, scruffing down on the rice like a wild, hungry animal. Did you make this yourself, Sol? You couldn't say that. Sol answers, opening his own container. You thought you'd see another form of art made by Sol himself within the container, but instead was greeted by a simple ham and cheese sandwich. He takes out a slice, but before you could take a bite, he turns to you. Have you eaten, Sean? No, I haven't eaten. Sol's eyes went wide, and Hugo gave you a shocked look. Before you knew it, Sol takes out another box and settles it on your lap. What? You can have this. It's an extra. Why do I feel like he packed this on purpose? Like, what if he packed this for us on purpose? I don't know. Maybe I'm overthinking it, y'all. Why do you have an extra? I didn't like how this looked, but I figured I can let Hugo finish it. It's a waste of ingredients. You don't have to, Sol, really. No, I insist. Oh, for freak's sake, just eat the same box. Hugo, who clearly had enough of the back and forth banter, suggests the idea before returning to his own box. Sol hesitates, but he eventually takes out a spoon and a fork, handing them to you. Take a bite from the bento box or tease him? I think let's tease him. I don't know how we're gonna tease him, but let's do it. You decline his offer of the utensils, and he raises a brow in confusion. You don't want the fork, or do you prefer the spoon? I have chopsticks if you want. No, nothing of the sort. Then what is it? I want you to feed. Oh! I didn't know we were gonna do that. I didn't know we were gonna do that. Sol's breath hitched, his face went bright red at your wild suggestion. Hugo gives you both a side eye. Your proclamation was enough for him to actually stop eating, shooting you both a judgmental look as if saying, really, right in front of my bento box? Oh, he scoots a bit away from you two, not wanting to be a part of your little fiasco as he returns to his meal. Sol, however, was nervous for a bit, his eyes still transfixed on yours. Still couldn't believe what you asked from him. Are you gonna keep staring at her or what? Shut up. I'll feed her. Sol takes the spoon in his hand. Sol takes the spoon a little bit too harshly and scoops out some rice and a piece of the sausage, his whole face turning red to the point it reaches the tips of his ears. With a shaky hand, he lifts the spoon for you to take. You took a bite and chewed. The mixture of flavors, how the rice remains warm and fluffy, and the sausage's savory taste helps balance it out, sending a tingling feeling down the spine from your spine to your mouth. Ooh, that sounds good. It's amazing. It's delicious. Sol, this is really good. Hugo nods along with you with gusto, food stuffed on one cheek like a hamster. I know, right? You'd honestly be surprised. Sol. Ha! You'd make a great house husband. Sol's eyes widened at your declaration. You really think so? I really do think so. Do you want to get... What? Wait, what did he say? Bro, what did he say? They made it go away so fast. And they don't let you look at it either. They don't let you look back at it. He said something about getting married. What? Sol is definitely house husband material, Sean. He can cook, he can clean, he can do anything. I'd rather not be your personal butler. Yeah, look at the wing. Hugo is definitely a good wingman. That was a compliment. The two banter, but you couldn't help looking at Sol and the way his eyes sparkle. They almost remind you of bright fireworks during the new year. Hugo eventually finished his own box, tucking it away and wrapping it back up. Standing up from the bench, Hugo stretched out his limbs and paced a few steps forward before turning to look at you and Sol with his hands on his hips. Is this what you guys do every day? Or at least when you both get together? You raised a question. Hugo turns his head to you with a slight tilt. What do you mean? You mean Sol giving me lunch? He just keeps forgetting to bring his own. Forgetting. He probably just wants Sol to feed him. Hugo pouts. And you never finish yours, so I do the honors of finishing good food. Thank you very much. Those bento box are... What inspired them, if you don't mind me asking? Oh, you didn't know? Shut it, Go-Go. Go-Go? Oh, now we're using the nicknames now, Sonny. How sweet of you. You see here, Sean? My old pal here just makes food art like the typical artist that he is. But he never bothers to finish it, much less eat it. And he really loves cute things like... With a finger under his chin, Hugo ponders for a short moment, trying to remember something from the top of his head, but to no avail. He turns to his friend, his arms crossed, seemingly uninterested in answering whatever inquiry Hugo was going to throw at him. What was the name of your plushed horse, Sonny? What? Like hell I'm answering that. Boo! He owns a plush horse? Sol owns plushies? Sol bites his lips, his face turning red upon the reveal of his little secret. That's so cute. You're just full of surprises, Sol. Like, I keep getting surprised by his personality, genuinely. He says nothing as he fixes his choker. The red blush tinting his face makes its way to the tips of his ears, but appreciates your compliment nonetheless. Looks can be deceiving. This makes you wonder, why do people never bother to notice him? Why don't people want to get to know him? Maybe they just never gave him the chance because of how he looks, not to mention his intimidating height. But he isn't like that at all. In fact, he can be considered a gentle giant. Low key, guys. I can't think of anything that could be wrong with him. Honestly, let's forget about the fact that his hand was bleeding. Maybe he was like saving a baby bird and maybe it pecked at his hand. I don't know. He's very wholesome. Time passed for a while, and now Hugo and Sol are both leaning against the railings, observing the view below them. Curious, you make your way to where they were. Hugo and Sol seem to be looking at something below, their faces solemn and serious. Hugo's face is blank, while Sol's expression is a mixture of irritation and aggravation. You look down and you see a group of well-dressed people, but what made them stand out is not from the way they dress, but the way they carry themselves. They're clearly not from here, but the school's logo on their uniform's chest pocket says otherwise. They look fancy. They look rich, dangerous. You couldn't help but hold your gaze on the tallest one in the group, an adult man. You're guessing that he must be a staff member, maybe a teacher, but what sticks out about him is the eye patch on his face and a large scar behind it. It sends a shiver down your spine. High-class mugs. Sol exclaims, pure disgust coating his tone, not hiding it a single bit, as he pulls away from the railings and returns to the benches where you last were. High class? Ah, you don't know about the hierarchy, Sean? No, not that I'm aware of. This is the first time I'm hearing of it. Girl, how many years have you been here at the school? How come I've never heard or seen one of them throughout my school years here? Hugo lets out a low chuckle, his attention still on the group below him. Then his gaze darkened. The usual happy-go-lucky attitude you've come to know disappeared in a flash, as if the person before you is a different person. I don't blame you. No one likes talking about them anyway. About the hierarchy. How come I've never heard of the hierarchy before? It's like a hidden thing, but that's what we call it. This school, no, the entire city. It's like a fighting pit. Really? Whoever is the most powerful has a better chance in living a good life here. People come to this school to gain a second chance in life. But to achieve that, you have to make yourself well known. Make them think you're worth their time. If not, you're on your own. I guess let's ask about the high class now. He sent a chilling glare down at the group below. The school's building isn't actually the real thing. Wait, what? But the school map clearly says that the address is... That's where they actually fool you. You might think you got it right, but we are sorted based on our background. The real school building? Way farther than where we are. And their campus is 10 times bigger and better. So what, we're at the poor campus? They get proper classes, have better equipment, everything is just better. Here, we only get the short end of the stick. The afterthought, if you will. If I have to guess, the well-off are in the main building. That's right. Son of a duke. Daughter of a businessman. Heck, as long as you're rich, you're in. Your chances of having better education rest there. If you're part of the high class, then you'll have a better chance of having a successful and stable life. But don't we have students here who are also like super rich? You recall Crowe introducing you to Jess, her being a daughter of a family owning a large company. How come she's not part of the high class? There are some who ended up shifting down and moved to our building. Why did they shift down? Either they failed a class or got a violation. I can't imagine Jess getting a violation or failing a class. Now, maybe she wanted to join Brittany, I don't know. They didn't want that type of stain on their reputation, so they sent them here. Of course, some didn't appreciate that. They see us as someone lower than them. Hence, Hugo glances back at Sol, the said male now busying himself with his sketch pad. A soft look flashed in his eyes, like how a mother would worry over their child. There you understood something. Oh, they have to fight the weak to feel something, huh? They sound like nothing but bullies. How come someone didn't step up to complain? Hugo laughs at your words if you told him the best joke of his life. He shakes his head in disagreement. If only it was that easy. His laughter dies down, his expression back to being solemn as he scratches the back of his head. Actually, Sean, in this city, no one really gives a trash. Money is the only thing revolving around this city. You got no cash? You're done for. Which is why people like us, he turns to look at you dead in the eyes, are desperate to get into the higher class. If you so dare complain. He pauses, contemplating on the next set of words he's going to say, his mouth opening and closing like a guppy out of water. Instead, he gives you a warning look. His sky blue eyes that once reminded you of summer skies are now cold like sharp icicles about to pierce you. You're better off dead. With one last look below, Hugo lets out a sigh as he turns to look somewhere else, trying to shove away the thoughts clouding his mind. But that's the sad reality here. The attention is good, great even. Your chances to get a stable life and even have a knock to stardom is high once you're part of the high class, much less graduate there. Well, I guess I have nothing else to ask. The city is corrupted. He mutters under his breath, which makes me question, Sean, how were you able to get in the city? No, the better question is, why did you enroll in this school? If you don't mind me asking, that is. You're clearly not from here. Your eyes widen at the words that the well-dressed man said. No, I refuse. Sean, I told you to stay inside. You're not taking this farm, my home. You cut your father's words off, marching towards the tall man with loud and heavy footsteps. What? Was I taken? The tall man, however, raised a brow at you, raising his hand to halt his men. His deep magenta eyes then turned to look straight in yours. It sent a chill down your spine. Who is that? Whoa. A bit feisty, seeing that this is our first time meeting, right? Let me introduce myself first. My name... Oh, I guess we're not gonna figure out who this is. But you may call me Mr. Z. And as for our little agenda, how about this little lamb? If you manage to pay off your debt for the next 5 years, I'll let you off the hook, and I'll let you keep your land. 5 years, you can handle that. Maybe working 3 jobs would do it for you. He tuts, waving a finger in front of your face. He looks down at you, reminding you of your place, a mischievous smile appearing on his handsome features. But I have some conditions you need to meet. You went silent. Your heart starts pounding in your chest as you kept eye contact with the sharp magenta orbs. I want you to stay in the city. The city? But we can't even afford to take her to college. What more moving in the city? Your father interrupts the man mid-sentence. The man merely gives your father a side glance, making the old man freeze on his feet before turning his gaze back to you. No need to worry. She'll be under my jurisdiction, of course. I'll provide for her education and accommodation. What is this? What? How is this gonna pay off the debt? Suddenly he burst out in laughter, throwing his head back a bit as if he just heard a very funny joke. See, I'm not that cruel. Wouldn't you agree, Sean? How does he know my name? Oh, maybe he heard my father say it. But just like I said before, I want you to pay off your debt. Land doesn't come cheap, darling. And I've been very patient with how long this land's payment has been postponed. A sudden jerk on your collar made your heart jump, his face now mere inches away from yours, his brows furrowed in anger and filled with spite. Sean! Not one step, old man. He screams at your father, not sparing a glance as he kept his hold on your collar. You try to claw his hands away from it, but to no avail, seeing that you are losing more air the more you struggle. Listen here, punk. I don't care what kind of method you're going to do in order to make money. A dark smile appeared on his face. It sent a shiver down your spine. Being a good citizen or get a part-time job like the rest, or sell yourself out in the strip clubs. Legal or illegal, I don't freaking care. As long as you reach the amount. If not, well, you can say goodbye to your little farmland. He says that, but there was a gleam in his eye that is telling you that that's not all. Letting go of your collar, maybe he'll kill them. Oh, letting go of your collar, he steps back as you greedily take in the air that you lost. Tears making its way toward your eyes, threatening to drop. So, little fawn. What's it going to be? You bit the bottom of your lip. You turn to look at your father, his eyes were clearly telling you to decline. Well, how else are we going to pay the debt, father? You didn't want to comply to this man's words, much less take his offer. You think he might throw you another form of debt for letting him fund you to go into the city. There was something about this man that screams dangerous. You were too desperate to not lose your home. Your only home. Tick-tock, sweet thing. I haven't got all day. The tall man's gaze still fixed on you, waiting for your answer. Do you accept? Do I have a job right now, or have I just been going to school? First of all, nearly 4 years ago, girl, you only got 1 more year. You recall the dream you had this morning. It felt as if it happened yesterday. Despite the events that happened nearly 4 years ago, you're still being haunted by the deal the tall man offered to you. Hugo observes the way your face hardened, the way your eyebrows arched, and a drop of sweat dropping amidst the cool autumn wind. There, he understood. Let me guess, it's something you can't avoid. I honestly don't know. My father never really disclosed as to why we were in debt. But I was so desperate to not lose my only home. I need to make it up to the higher class no matter what. 3 jobs isn't cutting off the way I wanted to be. I'm running out of time. Dang, this is my last year in this cursed university. I'm barely making any progress. Hugo's gaze remains on your figure. You realize you haven't answered his question yet. My family owns a farm in the south. You finally speak, making Hugo perk up his eyebrows in curiosity. What sort of farm does your family have? Oh, well, we have some wheat fields and we tend to animals such as cows and horses. Horses! Bet Sol's going to love that place. That sounds nice. I'd love to be out of the city once in a while. You give him a small smile. Yeah, some might say it's boring, but it's not. You get to pet horses and cows. Well, you should really invite me or even Sol over then, if ever. Having you give us a tour there should be a great change of scenery. But that means you're a long way from home. Don't you miss it? Probably a little bit if we've never been back home, and probably our dad at least, a little bit. That's alright, it's normal to feel a little homesick. I heard great things about this city and about this school. Hugo remained quiet, listening to you as you went on. If I can manage to come on top and maybe be a part of the higher class like you said, then maybe I can save my family's farm. Crossing his arms, he says nothing as he looks at you one last time before letting out an endearing chuckle. You remind me of her. Like, her? Who's her? I'm rambling. Don't mind me. Having been caught red-handed, he waves his hands around in slight panic. His face now red as a cherry, you tilt your head in confusion. Just then, you felt a presence behind you. Turning around, you're met with Sol. His glare is stingy and directed at Hugo. Uh-oh. The shorter male, however, didn't mind it, probably used to it. It's almost time, we should head back. All right. With nothing else to do, the 3 of you left the rooftop. You take one step down, looking up and ready to converse with Sol and Hugo when you suddenly lose your footing. The typical anime falling. Sean? Whoa, you were right there, Sean? Yeah, thank you, Sol. Eyes wide in shock, you hold onto Sol's arm tight, his other arm wrapped around your waist as he pulls you close to his chest. You can feel both of your heartbeats run, not Hugo third-wheeling. Pulling away, you steady your footing, observing the stairs, cursing at how weirdly formed it is. Be careful next time. Sheesh, this school and its bad architecture. Also one of the few flaws here. The stairs are all wonky. It's also why it's forbidden to go up here. We're troublemakers, though. Hugo does not look like a troublemaker. I'm sorry, you do not give troublemaker vibes at all. Hugo lets out a cocky grin, then goes down the stairs with much ease, as if it's nothing to him. What a freaking menace. Turning to Sol, you grab hold of his shoulder. He did not mind as you used him as a guide in descending down the stairs. The school bell rang throughout the hallway, signaling the start of the next classes. Hugo lets out a groan. I don't want to go to class. I hate my history teacher as much as my coach in archery. Why don't you skip then? Hugo's eyes popped open. It became bright like a light bulb appearing out of his head and lighting up. Sol knows exactly what that look means. Don't tell me you're actually, I'm gonna skip class. How about it? F this school. If they're gonna treat us badly, then let's be the bad guys. A mischievous look makes its way to Hugo's face. Sol already knew what that look means, sighing as he did so. He turns to you, waiting for your response to Hugo's offer. The thought of skipping is quite a gamble. Your next class is Crowe in art history. But then again, your teacher will probably only do some boring introduction. Missing one wouldn't hurt, would it? Obviously skipping means that we spend more time with Sol. You know what, we might as well. Let's focus on Sol, and then, you know, if we do a part 2, we'll focus on Crowe. So let's just skip and focus on Sol. Hugo lets out a small cheer and gives you a thumbs up. Sol gives you a cheeky smile of his own. But how do we do that though? Obviously we can't go through the entrance since it's closed and guarded. I know a way. Without wasting any more time, Sol leads the way, going through the back side of the school near the gardens. The edges, of course, were barricaded by a tall iron fence. Sol finds a bush and pushes it aside, revealing a gaping hole. Well, that's convenient. Did you make this hole, Sol? He did. What? Hugo is more of a menace than I thought. I did. Hugo went ahead, first through the hole. Sol waits for you first before following right after. The three of you went past a few bushes and shrubs, the leaves falling as you passed by them, the red and orange leaves scattering around and some making its way to your uniform before you all eventually made it out and met with pavement. So, where do we go? Hugo thought for a moment, looking around before pulling out his phone. Suddenly he lets out a gasp, scrolling through his phone faster before gripping on Sol's shoulder, earning him a hiss from the taller male. Sherlock Holmes is out! My ears. Oh yeah, it's that detective movie I keep seeing on the television. I thought that won't come out till next week. Did I set the date wrong? With that, Hugo started sprinting, leaving you and Sol behind. For the love of... Sol placed his hands on his hips before walking to where Hugo ran off to as you followed. So we're going to the movies. Hugo kept tapping away on his phone. His shoulders went slump. Guess he did get the date wrong. Shoving his phone back in his pocket, he turned to you and Sol. He clasped his hands together and pulled the biggest puppy eyes you've ever seen. We've got to watch it. Can't we, Sean? Can't we, Sonny? Hugo begged. You can go ahead and watch the movie. I'm gonna roam the arcade while you're at it. Hugo pouted, his eyes half-lidded, and the sparkle in his eyes was gone. He wanted to watch it with you, Sol. Come on now. It's more fun if you're around. I know you like those crime videos you watch from time to time, so please. Sol, however, based off his expression, isn't in the mood. Hugo gives up and turns to you. How about you, Sean? Would you like to watch the movie with me? The ticket and food's on me, of course. Wait. I mean, like, I kind of want to spend time with Sol. The movie does sound interesting, and free food also sound interesting, but I gotta focus on spending time with Sol. I ain't gonna lie. We're gonna go to the arcade. Hugo shrugs. I'm sorry, Hugo. You're so sweet. You're so wholesome. All right. Go on your little impromptu date then. Besides, I don't want a third wheel anyway. But date? It's a date. You're the one who decided we should skip class and do whatever we want. Yeah, and I want to watch a movie. Well, don't let me stop you two. Hugo stuck his tongue out at Sol. The said male only rolled his eyes. Well, I'll be heading in now. I'll just give you guys a call on where to meet. Sure. You and Hugo parted ways. He gave you both a wave before heading in a different direction. Sol turns to you. Should we get going, Sean? Of course. The flashing neon lights of the arcade's exterior lights your way. The sound of each arcade machine reaching your ears. I've never been here before. Is this place new? Not really. It's just hidden within the city. I see. Do you get out a lot, Sol? You seem to know places. I know places because I get my butt dragged by Hugo. Is that so? You laughed. Sol just shrugged as he shook his head. He takes out a few coins from his pocket before handing it to you. They were tokens. So, which one are you going for first? Wow, you came in prepared. As always. Come on. Sol holds out his hand and you accepted it. He held it tight with a light squeeze as you and him roam around the arcade. You and Sol went and played multiple arcade games. Some you win and some he does. But you often get the feeling he lets you win for the sake of you winning. Come on, Sol. This is like the 5th time I won. Ain't no way you're this bad. Maybe you're just that good, Sean. You flatter me. He's definitely letting me win. Just as you're about to insert another coin, however, you realize you've ran out of tokens. Sol takes notice of this, of course, and gave out some of his to you. I'll go to the counter and grab a few more tokens. You don't mind staying here for a little bit, right? How much should I pay you for the tokens? It's on me. Don't worry about it. Wait here. Giving you one last look, he hurriedly went to the counter. You looked around the area. The dinging sounds from various machines filled the arcade. From the corner of your eye, you spot a claw machine. Oh, we're gonna get a plushie. Maybe playing a few games wouldn't hurt. Going to the claw machine, you check the contents inside. A cat plushie, a Shiba Inu plushie, and a horse plushie. They all look so cute. Which one should I try to win? Let me think. See, he already has a horse plush, but what if we get a horse plush and then try to, like, we could be twinning. We both have a horse plushie. Let's do that. You remember how Sol likes horses. Maybe you could try to win one for him? These are his tokens after all. You took out some of the tokens Sol gave to you and inserted one in the coin slot. Okay, but these things are low-key scams. The machine whirs to life as you take the joystick on your left hand while hovering the red button on your right. You were focused, eyeing the claw in this position, trying to align it with the horse plush. The claw takes hold of the plush. Your eyes widen as you cross your fingers, hoping it catches it. But you were interrupted with a sudden smack to your what? Bruh, you jerked and turned around. What the freak? Well. What do we have here? You turned around and met with a tall figure, a cocky smirk on his face. He looks well off, like those typical spoiled rich kids you see in movies. His hair a bit tousled with 2 men, you assume are his bodyguards. Beside him? Oh, he has bodyguards. He reeks of tobacco, making you gag. You said nothing, but tried to move away from his sight, but you were stopped by another tall figure. You were guessing he's with this a-hole. Now, where do you think you're going, sweetheart? You alone? Yes, and I would pretty much prefer to be alone. I was almost going to win that plushie, too. The man, however, did not listen. Why don't you come with me and I'll show you how these games are played? Bruh. He raised his hand to reach your shoulders. Before he could touch you, however, you kicked him between his legs. He doubled over and clenched his lower region, a groan escaping his lips. His goons were taken aback and rushed to help him. Now's my chance. Don't let her get away. Multiple heavy footsteps were coming after you as you ran. You turned every corner you can, trying to make them lose you. Like, why are we causing a scene here? Like, what is this, Gotham City? But 3 against 1 is not a good matchup. Anyone please, someone help me? You pleaded, but the multiple sound effects and music from each machine within the arcade drowned your pleas. Nobody sees the girl just running around the arcade? You cursed under your breath as you focused on running. All you can think about at the moment is to get out. You managed to get out of the arcade, but you can still clearly hear the man and his goons on your trail. You look around and you found a few toilet stalls. You rushed towards it and got in a stall, hurriedly opening and locking it as soon as you got in. Where is Sol? The place stinks, but you didn't give it another thought as the beating of your heart rings through your ears. Ugh, someone probably dropped a dookie in here right before I got in here. Tears filling up the corners of your eyes. You hear footsteps. Find her. The man's voice echoed. You tried to think of something, and you thought of calling Sol. You quickly took out your phone. No signal. Are you for real right now? You can hear how aggressive they tore open each stall. They creep closer and closer to where you are. Anyone, please? Here you are. Bro, I thought I locked it. They broke the lock? No, please. You've been a very bad girl, but don't worry. You can make it up to me by doing me a favor. F you and your favors. I've been kind to you, but it seems you want to do this the hard way. How the freak have you been kind to me? He forcefully grabs the edge of your uniform, and your eyes went wide as your fingers went cold. You quickly grab hold of his wrist and you try to push him away. He's too strong. He forcefully lifts up your uniform, revealing your stomach to him. In public? You're gonna give me a good time, little darling. Boys, hold her down. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? F off, let me go. The tears that were hanging by a thread finally fell down your cheeks as you tried to stop him from going any further. The two large men with him held you down as you tried and struggle, but to no avail. Your vision is slowly being blinded by the hot tears that were filling up. Where are we? Are we doing this in the toilet stall? It's no use. His grip is too strong and there's no one near to hear me. You close your eyes shut. Please just end quickly. What? Wait, what's the big deal? Judging from the impact, the man's body was jerked off of you as he was thrown to the side. You hear flesh hitting flesh. And another one. Oh! Did I just hear a bone break? That's enough, Sol. Hugo's here too? Wait, did Hugo fight too? Not yet. Oh, shoot! That's enough. You broke his nose already. No. So. Oh, he's going in. Sol. That's enough. Sean needs your help. At the mention of your name, the familiar reddish-orange eyes went wide open before turning to you. Sol quickly went to your side, eyes wide with shock before crouching down and giving you a hug, his shoulders shaking as he embraces you. You said nothing, however, too stunned to speak to what transpired before you. The man now lay still on the ground, a pool of blood seeping out of him. The rest of his goons passed out on a random corner. You looked up and met with all too familiar eyes of Hugo, but they weren't the kind ones you usually see on his face. Hugo's eye twitched as he sighed, trying to hide his visible irritation but failing. He looks around at the mess Sol made before turning to check up on you. He said nothing, hands in his pockets while he looks down at you and Sol's embrace. It's getting quite late. We should head home. Hugo tapped Sol's shoulder, making the tall male bury his face further in between your neck before eventually letting go. His eyes were bloodshot, his face red from either anger or worry. You weren't sure, but one thing's for sure is that this man before you cried. Oh! He cried for you. Oh my goodness. Wow. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I shouldn't have left you. Sol, why would I say nothing? Bro just saved me. Am I cruel? Am I cold-hearted? No, thank you for saving me. You reached out to cup his cheek. He flinches at the touch. Tears that he was trying to hold back is now flowing freely down his cheeks. He eventually relaxed as he closed his eyes and leaned on your hand as he held it. I don't know what I'll do if... It's okay. It's all right. You saved me. Here. Beside you, Hugo extended his hand for you to take. You notice on his other hand is the same horse plush you tried to win back in the crane game? You took Hugo's hand as he helped you get up. How did he get that? Did they break open the freaking case and grab it? Sol stands as well, but backs away from you a few steps. We should head home. It's quite late after all. Both you and Sol didn't say anything but nod along. Hugo gives both of you a smile before walking away. Sol kept a firm hold of your hand, seemingly afraid to let you go. Hugo lets out a sigh. Guess we can't get in that arcade anymore. Those guys might come back to teach us a lesson. If they ever come back, I'll give them more than just a broken nose. You're pretty scary right now, Sol. Good. I'd like to keep it that way. Hugo shakes his head. He rummaged through his pockets before handing Sol something. You didn't quite see what it was, but judging on the scowl on Sol's face, he didn't like it. I told you those don't work anymore. It's because you aren't taking it, you fool. Now take it tonight. Sol grumbled like a child who got scolded before taking whatever Hugo gave to him and tucked it in his pockets. What did he give him? Anyway, your place is just around the corner. You should head back as soon as possible. I'll be taking Sean home. Sol's eyes narrowed. He went from holding your hand to wrapping his arm around yours in a possessive manner as he leaned closer and glared at Hugo. No, I can walk her home. Clearly, you're not in a good condition to fight again. I can fight again. There was something in Hugo's eyes that made your blood run cold. What? What's up with Hugo? Hugo is actually... There's actually more to Hugo than meets the eye. Low key. The usual happy-go-lucky expression he had on his face was gone. You take a look back at Sol, noticing how unfazed he seemed, as if challenging Hugo? wait, does Hugo... What's up with Hugo? Yo, what is up with Hugo? Can you fall in love with Hugo too? Is it possible to fall in love with Hugo too? What? I'll let Sol walk me home. Both of them looked at you in surprise. Hugo seems to disapprove of your choice while Sol's whole demeanor shifted from shocked to cocky as he slowly turned his head to his shorter friend. You heard her. Hugo, I can handle this. I can walk Sean home. Sean, trust me. I want you to trust me too. Hugo looks at his friend in wild disbelief, almost as if offended by what Sol said. You took notice of the way his fist tightened, causing his veins to bulge out from the force he exerted. What is with this tension here? Why is Hugo so mad at him? Eventually, he gives up with a sigh. Hugo turns to you. If it's fine for you, Sean, then I can't force you. The shorter male didn't say anything afterwards, and he then turned on his heel. Hugo walks away. You and Sol stare at his back until his figure becomes smaller and the light post no longer illuminates the path that he walked on. I don't understand. Is he always like that? Rubbing the redness away from his eyes, he turns to you. Like what? Like really bossy, especially towards you. I thought he's the happy-go-lucky type. Guess you can't judge a book by its cover. Sol didn't say anything. His gaze lingered on the now empty path where Hugo had headed. He takes your hand and wraps his fingers around yours with a smile on his face. He looks happy. What matters is that you're here with me right now. Shall we get going? Please excuse the place's condition right now. I didn't expect a visitor to come this evening, you said with a bit of a chuckle, rubbing the back of your head as you welcomed Sol inside your apartment. I don't mind. Sol eventually takes a step inside your apartment, but did not go any step further and remained by the door. Sol's figure was a bit stiff as he lingered by the entrance. Maybe he needs some convincing that it's all right to come in. Taking hold of Sol's hands, you led him to the living room and made him sit on the couch. Upon taking his seat, Sol placed down the horse plush you won for him on the table beside him. Oh, I didn't even know he won it. His whole demeanor, however, still remained rigid. You don't need to be so stiff, Sol. Just make yourself at home. Sorry, I'm just not used to being in other people's spaces, much less their homes. Really? Not even Hugo's? Sol just shakes his head. You begin to ponder. However, your train of thought was cut short when Sol started flexing his knuckles. That's right. Stop what you're doing and wait here. I'll go grab the medical kit. And don't you dare strain your fist any further. You don't have to do all this, Sean. You tutted, placing your hands on your hips. My house, my rules. Plus, I did insist on treating your wounds. Sol didn't say anything, but just let his hands relax. He still looked stiff, but through your words, he loosed his shoulders just a tad bit. You hurriedly ran to your room and into the bathroom connected to it and took the first aid kit before returning to the living room. Once you returned, you took the empty space right beside Sol. Hands. You say that like I'm some sort of dog. Despite his remark, he did as you told him and showed you his hands. Taking his hand on yours, your eyes furrowed at the gash and a few blisters adorned on his once pale knuckles. Taking a disinfectant and a piece of cotton from the kit, you lightly dabbed the formula on the cotton. This might sting a bit. Sol didn't say anything. Taking it as a sign to proceed, you gently dabbed the cotton on the bruises on his knuckles, earning a few hisses here and there from him. You did the same to his other hand, but this time he was silent, seemingly used to the stinging pain. After disinfecting the wound, you took out some gauze bandages and wrapped it around his knuckles. You were busy wrapping the bandages that you failed to notice how he kept looking at you while you were patching him up. You only realized when you finished wrapping his hands. You looked up and your eyes met with his reddish-orange orbs. Orbs that remind you of summer daisies of a rare breed. It's interesting how the author keeps using orbs a lot for eyes, but the word summer doesn't really quite fit him. Instead, he reminds you of the harsh and cold winds of fall. Despite his icy exterior, he's shown you nothing but warmth, like a fuzzy scarf to shield you from the freezing autumn winds. He hasn't let go of his hands from yours yet. Kiss his knuckles? That's really forward. I'ma do it though. He did save us. Why not? I'ma do it. You have no idea what made you do what you did next, but you raised his hands in yours and pressed your lips on his bandaged knuckles. He did not jerk his hand away, but the look of pure shock was displayed on his face. His face went red, while his eyes grew wide like saucers. Sol let out a low and nervous cough, tilting his head to the side in a shy manner. I'm not a kid anymore, you know. But it makes you feel better, right? You let out a chuckle. His silence was enough of a confirmation. You eventually let go of his hands, and he pouted when you did. You stood up from the couch, your gaze lingering on his sitting figure. Do you need anything else, Sol? A cup of water, perhaps? No, there's no need. Oh, come on, Sonny. a brow raised with mild curiosity at the familiar nickname you uttered. Sunny. Yeah, Sunny. There was a slight pause. The air was still. You felt nervousness starting to crawl up your skin. You rubbed the back of your neck. Sorry, I guess that's quite too bold of me to casually give you a nickname all of a sudden. No, it's just that I'm used to hearing that from Hugo's mouth. Well, only from Hugo. How about calling me something else? You don't mind a nickname? If Hugo's going to give me one, why not you? Oh, why not? Okay, fine, I'll give him a nickname. We'll call him Lysol. Get it? Cause his name is Sol. Lysol, the cleaning product. Bro, yes, I'm literally gonna call him Lysol. Lysol. Yes, Lysol. Quite fitting for someone like you, huh? You nudge and wink at him. Sol merely smiles and shakes his head. He looks up at you and admires your face. Sure, Sean. You can call me Lysol whenever you like. Now that's done. With a hand over his heart, he gives you a knowing look, gaze serious as if he's about to make a vow. Let me repay your kindness, Sean. Hey, you don't have to do that, Sol. It's the least I could do as your friend, and because you literally saved me. No, I insist. I can make you dinner tonight if you like. Oh, wait a minute, he doesn't know how to cook. That won't be necessary. Before you could protest, however, you could feel your stomach rumble. The sound was loud enough to be heard, which earned a low chuckle from Sol. I can cook. Not on my watch, mister. Your hands need to rest. I'll do the cooking. Before Sol could retort to insist on cooking, you pulled him up from his seat and started pushing him towards the kitchen dining room. Is there anything you like and don't like? Nothing really. As long as it's from you. Oh, wait a minute. But really, I'm fine. You've done enough for me already, Sean. I'm just doing this to return the favor. You shake your head no before forcing him back to his seat. Sol sighed and gave up, propping his elbows on the wooden table as he looked at your figure. Happy that he complied, you turned to stare at your kitchen sink. What the freak are you going to cook? You never had a guest before. Heck, even Crowe has never entered your apartment. And you had no other friends to even call over to hang out. Are you really this lonely? Sheesh. While you were in the middle of fighting your own thoughts, Sol hummed a tune. You hear him drag his chair to stand up, and you soon find his tall figure now looming behind you. He held his hands behind his back as he inspected your cupboards. Seems like your kitchen is quite empty. Yeah. Well, it's not completely empty. Reaching out towards the cupboard above you, he pulled out a box of curry powder and gave it to you. Oh, this could work. I'll look forward to it. An idea then struck you. What if you help me make those cute foods like the ones you made this afternoon? You mean the bento box I made for Hugo? I can. But does that mean I can work in the kitchen? Not a single finger! Huh. Sol merely pouted. He placed the box of curry on the counter as he crossed his arms and leaned on his back, his gaze not leaving your figure. All right, Pumpkin, let's see what you've got. Oh, wait, calling me Pumpkin to my face now, are we? I'll lead as you go. Using your phone, are you not gonna comment on how he called you Pumpkin, girl? Using your phone, you searched up on how to make simple curry, checking the list of ingredients that you thankfully had on hand before preparing everything on the counter. Sol checks around and lets out an approving hum. He begins by telling you how to prepare the ingredients. Thankfully, you have most of it lying around. You wash the potatoes and carrots and proceed to peel the skin off one by one. Sol still remains right beside you, his arms now crossed as he observes. When you set aside the vegetables, however, he suddenly takes out a knife from your knife holder along with your chopping board, then moves to chop the vegetables. Hey! You're not supposed to be doing anything! You were about to protest, but stopped yourself once he gave you a side eye, a smirk on his face as he cut them neatly and in equal sizes. He has experience and he made it clear. Show off. After cutting them, he sets the chopped vegetables in a bowl as he waits the rest from you. Could have handled it on my own, you know. Yeah, you can, but what if I'm stubborn like that? Well, at least this makes the work faster. You eventually finished peeling the carrots and took the knife from Sol, shooing him away and taking his task. Sol complied and went back to leaning on the counter. You looked at the perfectly cut potatoes and carrots. Did he make flower-shaped carrots? How did you do this? Do what? This is so cute. Do you want me to teach you? Wait, let me do it first. I want to see if I can replicate it. Oh, you about to butcher it. You're gonna chop off your fingers. Grabbing a piece of a sliced carrot, you try to replicate the flower-shaped carrot Sol did. However, every time you managed to cut one, a piece of petal would fall off. Again, and again, and again. Ugh! You placed the knife down, lifting your sleeves up, and continued on. You were too focused on trying to cut a piece of carrot to fully realize that a pair of bandaged hands were now on top of yours. Sol's figure loomed behind you, his torso pressed close to your back as he leaned his face right next to yours. His breath fanned your cheek while you stand frozen. You can feel the heat slowly rising up your cheeks. Calm down. Let me help you. Oh, okay. I'll let you help me. You could help me with a lot of things. With his guidance, he leads you with the utmost care. Don't cut too much. That's how you managed to accidentally cut off a petal. Do this instead. You couldn't focus. Your heart was beating too fast. The rumble his chest makes whenever he speaks echoes through you. You could feel his heartbeat as well. It was beating as fast like yours. You let him lead you like a puppet to its master. There, this looks better. You were too distracted by his overall presence that you didn't realize how the once round carrot was now in the shape of a blossom. And you didn't learn nothing, but it's okay. That's okay. It only hit you once he stepped out, his arms around you gone, and he was off of your back. You looked down at the masterpiece before you. Ah, you make them so pretty. I think you can make them prettier. Just follow what I did. That's the problem. I wasn't paying attention. You weren't paying attention, were you? You avoided his gaze. He lets out a chuckle. I can show you again. I think that's all right. You don't have to show me again. You don't have to. You do not have to show me again. I mean, I wouldn't mind if you showed me again. Low key, I wouldn't mind if you showed me again. We're running out of carrots anyways. Just need to chop the rest of the potatoes and we're done prepping. You want me to help with the... Sit down. Sit down. While you were cooking with Sol's aid and instructions, of course, the said man took the honor of making orange juice, claiming it was less of a risk. Since he kept on insisting to help, you let him be. Sol sets the table while you turn off the stove, the curry's aroma filling the dining room. The curry was hot, and steam rose from the pot as you carried it by the handles with mittens on your hands. You then set it on the table. Sol sat across the table, the orange juice he made in a pitcher now settled on the table as well with 2 glass cups. You sat down on your seat as well. Thank you for the food. Thank you for the food. Ah, this smells so good. Without wasting time, you took a spoonful of warm curry and rice, blowing the steam away, then plopping it in your mouth. That sounds so good, low-key. You let out a joyful hum. Sol just chuckled as he ate his own portion of curry. Oh, wait, he's blinking at me. He's looking at me. I'm nervous. You should write down the spices you made me add. I didn't think they would taste this good. I'll list them down once you're done eating. Couldn't argue with that. You discard the dishes in the sink after dinner. You and Sol sat in the kitchen for a while, somehow finding yourselves talking about food as you drank what was left of the orange juice. Sol still making himself comfortable on the dining room table. I could send you a few of my favorite dishes if you want to try them. That'd be great. I'd like to learn more from you if given the time. Of course. Anything for you, Sean. Okay, anything for me? Okay, I appreciate you. I mean, I feel like that you could give me the recipes, but I feel like I want to eat your cooking though. Like, I want you to cook it for me. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Sol smiles at you. You look back at what happened today and how much he's been with you. From making you feel safe to making you laugh to actually protecting you. And now he just casually helped you make dinner even though you just bandaged his wound like any other normal person would do. Cooking with him, dining with him, it all seems so domesticated. Like you and him are... You took another swig of the orange juice, chugging it down to the last drop, catching Sol by surprise. You feel your heartbeat quicken and the familiar warmth of your face heating up again. You let out a yawn. Excuse me. What time is it? It's 8:45. That late already? Sheesh. I've been taking too much of your time, Sol. You still need to go home. It's a school day. Why am I blinking like this? Am I drugged? Did he drug the orange juice? Y'all, did he drug the orange juice? Because he couldn't have drugged the curry. I made the curry. Did he drug the orange juice? It's a school day tomorrow. You rub your eyes. Another yawn escapes your lips. No, don't worry about it too much, Sean. I feel quite happy you let me in and treated my wounds. Not to mention sharing dinner as well. Sol wanted to say something, but he stops himself before he could utter the words in his mind. Instead, he leaned in closer. His eyes were half-lidded as he looked at you expectantly. What? Why were there 3 of him? Ugh. Your head is getting dizzy. You seem tired, Pumpkin. No, I'm fine. Let me get you to the door. Your eyelids felt heavy from the sudden creeping drowsiness that wrapped around you. You rubbed your eye trying to shake off that heavy feeling. Your hand lost its strength. Something slipped and the glass shattered on the floor. Beyond your fading vision, you caught Sol's smile, his hand pushing away the glass of orange juice that had never been touched. He never drank the orange juice, y'all. It was in the orange juice. It was in the orange juice. I wasn't expecting this. What? What? He looks at her figure, now passed out on the table before him. He turns to stare at the pitcher half filled with orange juice as he crunches the packet of pills in his pocket. The very same packet Hugo gave him before coming into the apartment. So Hugo gave him sleeping pills, but Hugo gave them to him for himself, not for Sol to drug me, right? Right? Or maybe Hugo knew that Sol's a little crazy, and he was like, Sol, don't go to her house. Hugo probably knows Sol's just a little bit insane. And he was like, man, go home, Sol. Taking the pitcher and his glass of orange juice, he drained it all out and placed them in the sink before returning to Sean's side, not minding the shards of broken glass he's stepping on. He gently lifts Sean's hand, then drops it. And just like a motionless ragdoll, she remained unconscious. A smirk makes its way to his face. He gently placed his hands on her shoulders before leaning in close to her neck, taking a deep inhale of her scent. He shivers in delight. He gently wrapped Sean's arm around his shoulder before carrying them in his arms like a groom to his spouse. Let's get you to bed, pumpkin. What? He enters Sean's room, seemingly familiar with the layout as if he'd been through here multiple times. He carefully walks towards the bed and gently lays Sean down on her duvet. The corners of his lips turn upward, his eyes twitching. He then proceeds to lie down next to her sleeping figure, wrapping his arms around her abdomen and pulling her body closer to his, spooning her in the process. He buries his face on her neck. Like before, Sol inhales Sean's scent like an addictive perfume. A shiver went down his spine as he could feel his face. Whoa! Whoa! I didn't need to know all that. Yo, what? Oh, my darling Sean. I feel so flattered that you trust me so much, despite just meeting me yesterday. Isn't this enough proof that you're meant to be mine, as I was meant to be yours? That is true. We did just meet him yesterday. I did forget about that little point. Actually, it's a big point. Your soul resonates with mine. He makes himself comfortable, his arms still wrapped around, keeping his gaze on the apple of his eye. A wicked smile still settled on his face. He snuggled closer, hearing Sean's steady heartbeat through the veins of her neck. I love you so much, Sean. I want you to realize. I want your soul to realize. I know that it'll take some time, but I'm getting impatient, sweetheart. Bro, how long have you been watching us? I've only known you for 2 days. 2 days. What do you mean you're getting impatient? Dang, give me a week at least. Sheesh. How long have you been watching me? Has he been watching me since I got to the school? Like 4 years? When will you realize? He asked under his breath, as if hoping for some answer from the sleeping woman caged within his arms. But only her soft and steady breathing filled his ears. He tightened his hold around her. His eyes didn't flutter shut, as his thoughts kept him up until midnight. Someday, one day, Sean, you'll learn the truth. What is the truth? What is the truth? To be continued? Is that all there is? Seriously, that felt too short. Well, there is a lot of routes, though, because we could also go the Crowe route. Sol is definitely, like, he has a wholesome side to him, but clearly he's insane. Clearly he's a little bit off his rocker. But if you guys like this video and you want to see the Crowe route, let me know and I'll do another video. But thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe and join the squad. And I'll see you in the next video.
My shawty's up in here, this a anthem. Up in the room, still a beauty with a mask on. And just laid up, y'all be